Hello and welcome back to art class.
Today we are going to be working some more on our fall still lifes. If you were here last time, you would have started drawing 3 items or more with crayon, which means today you'll be ready to move on to hot glue. I'm excited to teach you more about some safety procedures with the hot glue, and I'm going to test you, I'm going to quiz you on some hot glue procedures, so we'll see if you can answer correctly in a little bit. Am I done with my picture and ready for hot glue? If you said no, you are correct because I still need to have 1 more item, but I'm probably going to add 2 more. One more thing you might want to check with today is to see if you have any shadows added in your work. That can be a great way to take your artwork to the next level. Remember to color your items in so that you have lots of detail when we finish our project. We will paint these things in, and wherever the crayon is touching, the paint will not stick. So you don't have to color in completely, but do add lots of color with your crayon. Thanks for remembering to keep items school appropriate.
All right, now I have all of my items drawn and I am ready to start hot gluing.
I've got some boards over in the hot glue area. The hot glue needs to stay on those blue plastic boards that I have there. We can have 1 person at a time at each hot glue station. So if you are done and the stations are full, are you going to be able to join in yet? If you said no, you are correct. We are going to have to wait until a station opens up. As soon as somebody is done, I will call you over, and maybe some people can finish next art class. So you can do free draw while you wait. All right, first thing to know is this is what? If you said hot, this is true. That is very hot right there where this metal part is. So we definitely do not want to touch that. This part is not hot. This part is pretty hot and somewhat warm in spots, but really hot the closer you get to this metal piece. So when we set the glue gun down, we don't want to set it on our paper because sometimes it can have hot, sticky spots on it. We want to set it on the board so that it doesn't leak onto the table or drip on the table. Sometimes hot glue drips out of this end. Now in this end, we have the hot glue stick. It only goes one direction. It goes through, it melts in this chamber, and then it comes out this end as hot glue. This is the glue that's going to come out over here. Should you pull this out? No, you should not. You need to leave that in there. When it runs out, I will get in my container of extra hot glue, and I will put this into the back, and it will just always continue to go through as I use this little lever right here. When I push the button, the hot glue is going to come out. So also, this hot glue stick, the hot glue sticks in here will melt. Should I do this? Absolutely not, because if it's left here over time, this can get some gunk on it. If you try to stick this in the end, it will clog up the hot glue gun, and then no one else will be able to use this hot glue gun anymore because this piece will not fit perfectly into the round shape of the hot glue gun anymore. So don't try to put the hot glue in there if it's gotten misshapen. Okay, now we're ready to get started. I want to make sure that you know to always set the hot glue gun down if you need to do something else with your hand. If you need to brush the hair out of your face, set the hot glue gun down. The hot glue has no business near your eyeballs. All right, now my job is to try to add texture onto my paper with the hot glue. Some of these smaller petals, I'm probably not going to be able to trace them because it is so tiny. I can keep rotating my paper so I can have a good angle to get the hot glue in there. And as the glue sits on the paper, it is going to start to cool down. But right now, these globs are still hot. Notice how I am holding my hot glue gun to the side so that these little pointy pieces don't get into the hot glue that is on the other side. Oh no! Ah! I got this little thing into the hot glue.
Oh. Don't touch the glue when it's hot.
So if I have wet hot glue here, it's wet because it's super hot still, then I want to come to this side of the paper where there is no hot glue underneath my hot glue gun for it to get stuck into. As long as I am working in a place where there's no hot glue under these prongs, I should be fine. Then I can turn the paper. Oh, I'm all out of hot glue. What do I need? If you said a new stick or a refill, you are correct. I just need to set this in the back. Now it is kind of wobbly, but I don't want to push it in because that's going to push hot glue out the other side. I just want to set it there, and when I pull on this little lever right here, it will push it in farther, which pushes the rest of the hot glue out. Sometimes it kind of pops back, so you just have to tap it in a little bit to get it to continue to work its way through the hot glue area. Uh-oh, I'm off the line there. But that's okay, I can't erase hot glue, so I'm just gonna add more hot glue around it, and I promise you it will still look amazing. If you get really hot glue on your finger and it feels like it is burning, go to the sink right away and rinse your hand under cold water. Remember to keep turning your paper. Now I gotta tell you, hot glue is expensive, so if you are using the hot glue for anything other than this project, if you are using it in any way that is not safe or wasteful, if what you're doing is wasting the hot glue, I will have you stop using the hot glue and we'll have you just complete the project without hot glue in your picture. Your picture will still look really amazing, but you will not be able to use the hot glue.
I want to tell you a couple more things about the hot glue. The glue stick needs to have time to heat up. Just like food on the stove needs time to get hot, even if the burner is hot, it still takes time for the glue to melt in there and be able to come out the other end.
So if you go really, really fast, you might get to a point where the glue stops coming out because it's not melted yet. It needs a few seconds to heat up and get hot enough to turn into a soft, hot glue that will come out of this little nozzle right here. So if it feels like it's really hard to squeeze the hot glue gun, just give it a minute and let it heat up again, and then you should be able to keep going. I want to show you how I like to make corn. I like to squish out a little bit and then scoot the glue gun over and make a new little glob that looks like a new little kernel on the ear of corn. See how it's squishing out and it's coming out and filling that space to look like a kernel of corn.
What? Cool!
All right, I've got one more object to add hot glue to. My paper is getting pretty heavy. I bet you can see that I've got all of these little strings on here, and I kind of actually don't mind that. I know that people like to pull those off, but I gotta tell you,
You just gotta wait for your glue to dry.
here's a string. If I keep pulling on it, it's just gonna keep coming off of the hot glue because the hot glue is still wet. So I end up with all of these strings that are just pulling on this hot glue right here, and it's just gonna keep
Stringing, kind of like cheesy pizza when the cheese is so hot and you bite the pizza and the cheese just wants to keep stringing and stringing because it's also gooey and it's staying attached.
Now, I want to say also that you need to get the hot glue gun onto the paper. You need to press the tip onto the paper and kind of angle it to the side to be able to draw these lines. If the hot glue is up in the air and you try to get it on the lines, that's what's going to happen. It's gonna kind of come out and just go everywhere, which is fine because pumpkins have lots of cool texture. So if you wanna try that on purpose, you can try it. But notice how the glue isn't going exactly where I want it to. If I don't touch it to the paper, it's gonna be really wobbly. This is a focused activity. It's something that we wanna make sure we don't burn people around us. So we need to keep the hot glue guns down onto the paper. If you do get done with this, great. If not, you can do it next art class, and then there will be another step, which is painting. I'll talk to you about that next time. Have a great art class.